This is one of the best performance on gold from the trading focus live chart setups and signals. Welcome to the trading focus once again. Hope everyone is doing good. In today's video, we are going to explain the way we took those trades from the live chart on the trading focus. So remember, from now we are speaking, the live chart is going on BTC setups and signals on the Trading Empire CR7. The link is in description below. You can check it there so that you can take those opportunities to make money in the weekend. That sounds amazing, guys. Subscribe on the channel, leave the comment below, like the video, and we see you in a minute on our today's video. Okay guys, welcome back. So I'm gonna start from some trade that we took the week before last week, that is the end of June. So I'm gonna start from this move from this area. So we did take this trade from this area. You remember the market moved down, so then we rejected from this area. Let me just go from the 1 hour time frame so that we can see where we moved from the downside. Okay, we talked about all this movement from the high to the low, then rejecting from this area. This was the low, the last buying volume where we rejected from to create this low. Let me just show you. Where is it? Okay, a bit confused, but you need to see it. Okay, so from this area, this one connecting with this one, so this was the low and this was demand area. So we rejected from the demand area, anticipating that the market is going to reverse to the upside. Remember, we are in the uptrend from gold from the higher time frame, and we are also taking some opportunities to trade against the trend sometimes as we are feeling some kind of imbalance area from the downside. So then we balanced this area as a demand, then we took a buy from this area. From this area, the market moved up from 30 minutes. This is the trade I want to talk about from this area, this one. So the market moved up, okay, by higher high to the higher low. If someone entered from this area, we be in the trade. Let me talk about the next movement to the higher low. This is also another area to buy from. This one is another area to buy from. So as the market moving up, we are waiting for the higher low. We took a trade from a retracement from this area, but this trade didn't work out. So then what happened? We had to wait from this area. Remember the target this time, because even if we were balanced this area, we're expecting also maybe the market is going to make a lower high so that we can continue in the downside as a deep pullback. So we are targeting some areas, like this was an area to target, but the last target was from this area. So this supply area, this one, as the last buying volume so that we can take a trade from the downside and anticipating the rejection from this area. So what happened? We missed one trade from here. Remember, we are from the downside, we are still in the trade, taking a trade from this area here. Okay, why? Because we had this area this one as a demand. Then the stop loss was from this area. Anticipating the market to move up, first TP was from this area. Those are areas where you can secure some profit from this area. So the second TP as the target also was from this area. Then the last target was from this area. We're expecting the market to move up, okay, as this, move up, make a retracement from this area, from supply, then we continue moving downside as a deep pullback. So then that's why we had to be careful from this area by not targeting long-term position. So then this trade was good. We lost one trade a little bit, very few pips from this area. Then the market continued. We waited to make a reaction from this area to take a sell, but the market continued moving up. Okay, we got a reaction from this area. Remember, we were waiting for very long. Maybe someone took a trade from this area anticipating the market to move down, but I didn't take this trade. Remember, on the chart, we have been just waiting to see what happened from this area. If we get a reaction, we need a proof that we are going the downside. That's where we start creating a new structure as lower lows to the lower high, so that we can expect the lower low. So then we didn't get that opportunity of that structure. So then the market moved down. I remember this was the last, from the week before the last week, the week we closed. The market was moving from this area. We are expecting the market to open after the weekend. Then what happened? I was expecting a pullback from this area so that we can go for sale. So we're consolidating from this area, this one here. So what happened? Remember, I say that the market, if the market move up here, we can take a sell, but starting targeting this area, this imbalance area, these demand areas. So what happened? We did take an opportunity of a trade, one trade from this area here. We took a trade from this candlestick. The confirmation was from 15 minutes. Let me check from there. Okay, 15 minutes. That's where we took a trade from. So the reason we got a very beautiful candlestick from this area, this one, so rejecting from the high as the selling pressure. So we took a buy as this candlestick closed. The stop loss was above the previous high of this candlestick. So where was the target? We're expecting the market at least start targeting these areas. This one as the number one, this one, okay, and even to continue from this area so that we can take a buy from there, anticipating the uptrend continuation. So what happened? So the market moved down, rejected from this area. This was our first TP. Remember, we talked about it. So as the market started rejecting from this area, we had to decide to leave the market because this is an equal low, this is a demand. There is a possibility for the market to change the direction and continue in the upside. That's why we had to be careful from taking a sell from this area and hold all the way down to target these areas. We had to wait from this area as a supply area to take a sell from. Then even from where we were standing from this area, this was like a consolidation. We can take a sell from this area. We can even expect to take a buy from this area as we create a higher low. So that's where we had to be careful with that. So we closed this trade, no loss. Remember, we had to secure profit. The market started moving up as we created this candlestick, this bullish, this the second candlestick from this area. We did take secured some kind of few pips from this area, this distance. Then the market moved up. So what we had to do was to wait a reaction from the high, then we take a little kind of sell to target this area again. So what happened, we went out rejecting from this area, and also we had this area inside this one. This was also an opportunity. Okay, so this inside area was an opportunity to take a sell from. So we're expecting the market to make a lower low from this area, breaking this structure, but we have a low here, which is an equal low. But okay, we had to wait for the lower high to continue with the lower low. So that didn't happen. What happened, the market moved up, equal high from this area. Then we decided to move down again, creating an equal low from the same zone where we rejected before. So now we had to think about uptrend continuation from here. As we are rejecting from the low multiple times, what can we decide after that? We had to wait for the opportunity to go for buy. So remember, okay, we are waiting for the higher high to the higher low, so then we can take a buy from this area by anticipating the market to continue with the higher high to target again this area and even beyond this area as an uptrend continuation. So then what happened? The market moved and respected internal area, this one. That's where we got an entry from. We didn't enter from here, from the live chart. We are waiting from this kind of new creation of demand, this one. Then what happened? We got an entry, so we made an higher high to the higher low. We can't enter from this area to the higher high, equal high from the high from our previous supply. So to the higher low from this area, this one, this was a demand. So what can we do if we see this scenario? So someone entered from this area anticipating the market to move down. It's okay, we didn't take this trade on the chart. So what happened? We decided that we are from the demand area from the downside. We are also from the supply. So are we going to be expecting the sell? The answer was no. If we had to take a sell, we had to wait until we start breaking these areas as starting a new structure as lower lows and lower high. So I said, okay, now what we have to decide from here is to respect the trend. And the trend was in the uptrend. So as we are moving from the downside to the upside, this was our entry again. Okay, this was a trade we took from this area. Remember, this time the target was from this area. Okay, so moving from this area, our first TP was from this area, from the the previous supply, this one, and then we had the target from this area, this one. Okay, so that was the target, 3376. That was the target. Then what happened? The market respected our entry. Then we moved up, breaking the previous high, this one. So what happened after that? We got a new demand from this area, this one. We got another entry. Okay, buy from this area. The target was still from this area, but this time, remember on the chart, I told you that we have to target this area. As long as we rejected from the high from this area, we are expecting the market to get to our target. So we had to secure from this area and secure from this internal area. This was our first TP if we enter from this area. So let me just first talk about this trade we took before. So taking this trade, the market moving up, the first TP was from this area, this structure we broke above. Let me say this entire structure, breaking above this area, anticipating the market to tap your target from this area. Then the market rejected from the high. If you had to secure some profit, you had to think about locking below this area some profit. Okay, let me turn into red. Okay, this area, that's where you had to lock some pips, the profit. So you got the TP1. TP2 was supposed to be on the target. Then the market started rejecting from the high, locking from this area. Then you walk away from the market with the profit. So then the market moved down. You have a new demand from this area to enter from. So this was another entry that I was talking about. So the first target was from this area, from the previous area where you locked the buy opportunity from. So second target was from this area, as you are expecting the market also to go back to the previous target, this area. Okay, from 3376. Then what happened? The market moved up, but also we had an opportunity to buy from this area. Let me check well. Okay, we have made a higher high to the higher low from this pin bar from this area. Also, we took a trade. Remember on the live chart, we did enter from this area. Okay, anticipating an uptrend continuation. So this trade, the target was from here, but we had to make sure that if the market starts changing the character from this area, we have to close. So what happened? The market moved up, so we got the first two. We got the first two profits from these areas. Then after that, the market moved down from this area. I remember some of the guy from our chat, from live chat, he was asking about taking a trade from this area. We said yes, you can take this trade from this area, but remember you have to start targeting at least these areas. Okay, because now we are trying to move down, and even from the high we created this supply. So you have to make sure that you close from this area. This was the day of NFP, so we had to be careful and take some few trades, and the target was from this area. I told him that you have to enter after 15 minutes close. Okay, let me check. Okay, so we closed from this candlestick, we entered from there. Okay, this was a trade also from this area. Okay, anticipating the target from this area. This one I remember. Okay, this area and even from here as the first tipping. So the trade went well. So from here we got another low from this area, which was an equal low. From here we are waiting for the news. This time you have to wait for the news and see the reaction from there so that you can take those opportunity after the news. So remember, I tried to predict the news by setting a buy limit and sell limit. The buy limit was from these areas, this one. Okay, so the sell limit was from this area, below this area. Remember, I gave you the target. Okay, let's go back to the 30 minutes. The target was from this area. It had two targets, this area and this area. So this is kind of trading breakout from the news. This is a sell stop and the buy stop from this area. The sell stop got activated from this area. We moved down, then we rejected from the low. By balancing the previous demand areas that we have been talking about. So that's where we rejected from. So from here, most of the traders were expecting to take a buy from this area. That is understandable. And also, we had to be careful from the high areas like this. This area was a supply. So if the market was moving down like this and then we start moving up, this was an entry for sell to continue targeting the previous also imbalanced areas like this one. Okay, so I remember that was NFP. After NFP, we had to decide. I've seen the market trying to reject from the low, moving up. Okay, from this area, I decided to enter for buy. I gave you this setup that we are expecting to buy from this area. So the target was from this area, this one. So the entry, I got it from lower time frame. That was 5 minutes. I remember that because I knew after news, the market is going to create some kind of moving high like this. Then we start consolidating and then we start moving up as we target those areas where we are expecting to take a sell from, as we are expecting a deep pullback to balance the previous areas. Okay, so then I've seen the market moving up. It was from this area. I said, okay, now what is happening? If the market was rejecting from this area, I was expecting to take a buy from this area, this one, because going back to the little higher time frame, okay, I used the line chart. So from the line chart from 30 minutes, I said, okay, so as the market rejected from this area, I understand that was buying pressure. This area was for the wick that we have seen from the lower time frame and even the higher time frame from the candlesticks. So then I said, okay, so now we are rejecting from this area. this one. Okay, going back to the candlesticks, this area, I'm going to take a buy from this area, anticipating the market to target this area. So we took a buy from this area. This was Friday. This was Saturday after the news. We took a buy from this area. Okay, the stop loss was below the previous low, because I knew that if the market break below this area, we are going to fill this week and this week, this one. So then after covering this shadow, we're expecting the market also to move up. But now I had to take this opportunity to first take a buy. Then if we get a retracement from this area, that's where we are going to be rejecting from to take a sell from. So what happened? The market moved up. We struggled from Friday. Moving up, we got to the target from this area. Then the market started moving down. Okay, this was a trade. We didn't take a trade directly from this area. We waited to start creating a lower low to the lower high. This was our entry again. Okay, we waited from this area. When this candlestick closed, this one, we took a sell. Okay, from this area. If you are someone who follows on the live chat from this channel, you remember all these trades. Okay, stop loss was from the high, anticipating to continue moving down to balance the previous areas. Okay, those are demand. This time the target was from this area, and even the areas to secure from was from these ones, the previous areas. This one, this is a demand. That's why we had also opportunity to be taking a buy from, as we expect to make a retracement from this area, and then you continue in the upside. So then what happened? The market moved down. We rejected from this area. Okay, this area here. Okay, so as rejected from this area, this was a retracement from here. Okay, so we said, okay, so now what is happening? As the market started creating a new structure from this area, we are waiting to take a buy as we start creating higher low from this area. Then we take an entry from this area. Then here we didn't get that opportunity. If someone entered from this area, it's okay, but we didn't take this trade. We waited after the market moving up. But remember, the sell closed from this area as we started rejecting from there. So then what happened? The market moved up. We are waiting from this area. Okay, this one. And even this was an area to wait for sell from. Okay, and this was another one from this area from where we took a sell from. Then what happened? So the market continued moving up, equal high from this area. From this area, then we started creating a new structure. From here, we got another entry to take a sell. Remember, we are still targeting the previous lows. Okay, because this was low to the lower high. This was an entry also. Again, entered from this area, stop loss above the previous high, candlestick bodies. the target was from this area. Okay, we're still expecting the market to move down until we get to this target. Sorry, that was not the target. The target was from this area, this entire area, this one. From here, this was the target. Okay. Yeah. So then what happened? The market moved down. We got to the target. This was a very big trade we took from last week. The market moved down, remember. So from the downside, there were no excuse. We had to take a buy, even not waiting for more confirmation, because we trusted this area, this one, as a demand strong area to buy from. If with someone who trade with chart pattern, this was an inverse head and shoulders from this area. So this was an opportunity from every one's strategy. So we had to wait from this area. Then we got an opportunity to take a buy from this area. This was a good trade, and even from the downside, I remember I told one of my members that enter from this area, then the stop loss from this area. Okay, let me bring it. This was the entry as a buy limit, or if you start seeing some kind of rejection from the low, you enter from the confirmation of the candlesticks. This time we're expecting to go back to the upside, to continue with an uptrend. Okay, so then what happened? We entered from this area, we moved up, we are waiting to take another opportunity to buy from the low. From these demand areas, the market continued moving up, creating new structures from the high. We left these imbalanced areas. This was another structure from this area. Remember, I told you that as long as we are staying from above this area, we are going to look for another opportunity to enter for buy. You remember that? Okay, we created, so that's where I have set some kind of setup from this area. Let me show you. Okay, so the market moved up, higher high to the higher low, high to the low. These are equal low. We need the higher high to the higher low so that we can continue to the higher high. So we took a trade from this area. The stop loss was from below this area, but this was a retracement. Okay, so from this area, buy from this area, from this candlestick, the stop loss below the previous entire zone, this area. But remember, we had this demand to buy from. Then this time we're also expecting an uptrend continuation. At least start targeting the previous high, this one, all the previous areas we entered for sale from, as we're expecting an uptrend continuation from the previous highs from the higher time frame. Okay, these are all the target we're expecting from these areas and even above that area. Okay, going back to the lower time frame where we entered from. So we took a buy from this area also again. So when you enter in the middle of the trend, you have to start targeting some areas by not holding for long, because there is a high probability for the market to make a retracement from the previous imbalance area. So that's why we took this buy from this area. The target was from this area. Then we got an opportunity to create a higher low by sweeping this liquidity from this area. We took another entry from this area. Okay, this was an entry too, anticipating an uptrend continuation. But this time, the target was still above these areas. Okay, these areas. So I'm trying to show you every position that we entered from. Okay, now the stop loss from here was from this area below us again. We created a high to the higher low, another entry from this area. This was another entry, taking a buy from this area also again, anticipating an uptrend continuation. Same scenario. Okay, so remember, you enter from this area. We are not saying that you are going to stay in the market for long. If you want to close, you can close from gold. This is a big profit from targeting these areas. That is a lot of money you are making in the market. So now we moved up. We started creating an imbalance areas from this area. This one, this was an imbalance area. We had to wait from retracement from this area so that we can enter for buy again. So the market continued moving up. We didn't come back from this area to make a retracement. Then yesterday, that was Friday, we got an opportunity to create another structure. So it was from this area. Remember, we took a buy. Okay, we said, okay, as long as we stay above this area, we are going to deal with this new structure. So we created a higher high to the higher low from this area. We did take a buy from this area by using a buy limit. Okay, from this candlestick. The stop loss had to go below this area, anticipating the market to continue the upside, at least targeting this area. Okay, what happened? The market moved up, creating another entry from this area. This one. This was an entry also again from this area. We struggled from the high by creating an equal high. We moved down also again. We got another entry from this area. But let's focus on this one. So we did take two trades from yesterday. Okay, this was an entry also again. This one. Don't remember, but we took all these three trades. Some people from the chat, you can remind us what if we did take another trade from this area. But we have marked this area. If we create a higher low from here, we have to trust the trend. Okay, taking a buy from this area also again, anticipating an uptrend continuation. So the market was struggling. Then we had to wait and see what happened. Then the market moved up and then we got to the target. That was last Friday. So I remember there is someone from our chat, that's Arif, took a trade from this area, I think from this one. think he closed around this area. So that was the trade that we took last week. How many trades did we take? We need to see the losses and the wins. Okay, so this was from the week before. Let's count from this one. Okay, let's see. No, this one wasn't among of them. Last week we started from the 6th, I think. Okay, from the let's start from the week before the last week, no problem. Okay, we took a buy from this area. This was the one that I talked about in the beginning. This is the loss one. Okay, one win. Okay, two, we secured from this area. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 8, 9, okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we took a loss, one loss, 16, 17. From 17 trades, we took only one loss. Remember, if you didn't even struggle to enter from those areas and you take some losses, they are not more than at least 3 losses. So that's how we do on the live chat. You need to follow us on the live chat every day. So now it's going to be there on the Trading Focus, this channel, and even from the week after the next week, we are going to be live on the Trading Focus, the Trading Empire CR7, so that's where you are going to be following us on the chat, so that you can take some kind of opportunities, those opportunities to take those trades. Then the Trading Focus will be also back to only on education purpose. So you have to make sure that you are ready to be with us on the Trading Focus next week on the live chat, and even from the other side, the Trading Empire CR7 will be on even now on the BTC. Remember, in the weekend we focus on BTC, that is Bitcoin. So you have to go there and check. Then next week we have GBP GPY from the Trading Empire CR7, and we are going to be focusing on gold next week from this channel, the Trading Focus. So guys, thank you so much for your time. Remember to subscribe on the channel, like the video, leave the comment below, and I will see you next time. Be safe.